Good day, and thank you for your patience. I would like to thank you for having me as your validator of your instrument. And these are the things I found out from your manuscript. So I'll start first giving my thoughts and insights about your manuscript, and then I will link that why I am giving this review in your interview guide. So to start, I'll have your research manuscript. So as you can see, the first thing I checked if the topic called ethical use of artificial intelligence is also a theme of investigation among researchers. So I actually copied from your manuscript the AI ethics in education. And as you can see, this is what I found out, the AI ethics in education. I would like you to check through the the concept. So we have AI ethics in education. However, here in 2021, you have AI ethics in education. The rest of the articles published would simply mention uh, ethics of AI in education. So the preposition there between ethics and AI is very important because the unit of analysis must be comparable to that of what others are investigating in the field of ethical use of AI in education. So to continue, um, in your manuscript, you have that. So please reconcile that one. And anyway, this is bonus. When you mention actually previews, this is very ambiguous because you keep on using things like previews, most studies, and these are ambiguous term like few studies, various studies, several studies. We don't know exactly what how many are these few, what are these various studies, what are these some studies. It is our responsibility to tell our readers what exactly are these few, various, several, some, most, current, existing, and numerous studies. All right. And then um, I would like to point out that you mentioned here that the gap is the ethical use. However, we need also to consider what have other researchers done to address this particular gap. Because you mentioned here how students, because if it's about how, you refer to the process. So you are actually trying to capture the phenomenon. And it surprised me because towards the end, the gap seems not coherent with what would you like to address as a gap, because it's uh, the how and the understanding of the views. So maybe you have a different view on this, but we really have to be careful what we use. And then um, this is where you presented explicitly your research aim. Please take note that the research title as well as the aim must be coherent. You wrote here, study explores Generation Z, Generation Z's views on the ethical use of AI tools. But then take note, your title is Generation Z's views to the ethical use. It's no longer on, it's to. I don't know why. And then, in accomplishing academic outputs, ayan, because you'd like to address the knowledge gap in their ethical awareness and decision making. So it's about awareness and the decision making. However, in the gap that you mentioned previously, it's about understanding. So in education, when we speak of understanding as well as your awareness and decision making, these are somehow interchangeably used, but they are actually totally different. um, I also noticed that um, you keep on telling us that it's about the views. So which means your aim is to investigate the views on the ethical use of AI. So I would like to re-emphasize here that it's all about views. As a validator, I'll keep in mind as I review your manuscript that, well, I have to check if you are really capturing the views. So this is what I noticed, that you need to provide an in-depth discussion of the specific ethical challenges. Because when we speak only of ethical use, but what exactly is that? Because the use is comprehensive. And if you are not specific about a particular ethical use, you cannot actually provide a specific view, which is later on to be utilized when discussing your result. But anyway, that might be challenging, but hopefully you can actually address it. And then you mentioned here that this is grounded in virtue ethics by Aristotle and deontological ethics by Kant. While I appreciate that you grounded it, but the question is, you have to present how views are actually grounded. And then from these different grounding techniques, why you have decided to use the virtue ethics and the deontological ethics. Is this being mentioned here simply because you would like to tell your readers that you have grounded? But you cannot just mention anything in a manuscript without presenting what is the use of it. And then here, I've noticed that this is actually a superficial engagement with the theoretical framework, because if you have to consider the so-called uh, virtue ethics and deontological ethics, why do you need to? So, kasi when you need to provide a grounding, you present first what are these ethics typologies. And then, why do you have to pick two, since the readers would question, is one not enough? Why these two of all ethics typologies? Now, I also would like you to elaborate on the key principles of virtue ethics and deontological ethics. While you mentioned a statement here, but you need to provide specific examples of how the interview questions or the data analysis towards the end will be guided by these ethical frameworks. This is actually your research framework grounded on ethical principles by Aristotle and Kant. And then you elaborated further that these ethics typologies will examine is examination and exploration, because you use here explores, while in layperson's understanding, exploration and examination, these are synonymous, but in research, exploration provides a different data, whereas examination is also a different thing. When you explore and when you examine, these are two different paths to take by a researcher. So please be coherent. Will you really examine or will you really explore? And all throughout, be coherent about it. And then I have noticed that even here, you mentioned their ethical awareness, while it's implied that the the awareness and the decision making refers to this group of respondents, but then this is ambiguous. It would be better that you have to identify what exactly the there and the they, because it can be misconstrued differently. So this is a case of ambiguity. And then for your research design, I checked and I found out that you will be using learning by doing by Gibbs, because this is inspired by um, Gibbs, learning by doing. But I would like to remind you that learning by doing is actually what we normally say as educator, but it is incomplete. The the other expression we have is blessed are the poor. And we think that poor people are supposed to be blessed. When in fact, that is not complete. That is, blessed are the poor in spirit. Whereas in this case, learning by doing and reflect upon it. So take note, learning by doing and reflect upon it is the complete. But normally, we say that pragmatism is actually only learning by doing. It is never complete until you reflect what you have done. So I emphasize here and reflect upon it. And I actually wonder, because I have to reread your work, why is pragmatism not mentioned in the manuscript? And suddenly you subscribe to MacLeod and you claim that this is constructivism. So I am actually wondering now, because your research design is about constructivism, while your instrument is about pragmatism. See? And you would like to explore the views, but then you will gather reflection. So are reflections and views the same? You better have to tell your readers. And even if you tell your readers, provide a support why views and reflection are but the same in the context of your study. um, you just have to provide comma. This is a technical issue. I mentioned already that the design is constructivist, but the instrument is pragmatist. Um, Another thing is here, you are using a paper by Eliot published in 2000, and we are now in 2025. This is 25 years ago. This is an issue of recentness. And you also have here, of course, Arendt's 1998. I suggest you check in the connected papers. Is this really the latest manuscript or article, rather, published by these people? And is this the lasting idea about their claims? Here, again, I encountered viewpoints. When we speak of viewpoints, are these views, but you would like to explore the views, but you would like to gather reflections. Because when I check Gibbs' uh, reflective cycle, here it's about exploring experience. So probably this is where you got that you have to explore the experience in terms of, but Gibbs' reflective cycle is actually pragmatism rather than constructivism. I would like you to check actually the different research philosophies, because I might be wrong. So reflective is equal to views. So I suggest, if indeed you found out later on by examining all these research philosophies or philosophies in education, then be consistent. explore, or examine the reflection so that it will be consistent all throughout. By the way, you mentioned suddenly that your respondents are Generation Z. When I read your title, I was actually expecting that, well, it's important to examine the views of Generation Z over other generations. I don't know why in this particular Generation Z. I am not questioning the basis. However, you need to inform why of all generations it's important. You do not let your readers decide for you. You need to tell us as readers. So you need to problematize that in the background. You just have to spell this out. And then, you see, you would like to gather, explore, or examine the views or the reflection. And the idea here is to ensure the participants can provide well-informed views. Only students rank among the top 10. So my question is, what is with these top 10 learners? And why in this particular grade level? You need to situate it. And the reason why we have background the study section, it's because it would rationalize why in grade 12. Is there a related studies which says that of all grade levels, experience is best observed among grade 12 over other grade levels? And this is also true in the case of the different generations. So here, I wrote that it's a popular model for reflection and reflect. And when we have 10, and this is qualitative, you need to tell your readers the extreme case. I don't know what is with the top 10 that can be considered as so-called extreme or cases. And you need to answer what constitutes an experienced AI user. And I stop here now because the information is enough for me to um, to review your um, interview guide. I really appreciate this formal letter of invitation. So again, let me remind you, this is Generation Z's views. Two, parang this, I would consider it distant two, but you started it with on. Anyway, does this really capture the views? But the instrument is about reflection. Again, Generation Z's views, but then students' reflections. How reflections and views interrelated? But for me, because this is an aim, is reflection an answer to the views? How is reflection? And you need to tell us in your manuscript. And here, I found out that you need to consider the connection of your theoretical framework. Again, there is now a sort of an issue when it comes to pragmatism versus constructivism. But anyhow, I decided to continue my review so that once you can reconcile them, then you can edit it without even asking me. So again, I wrote here, is views equal to reflections? Now, here, in the description, the specific questions within each stage could more explicitly prompt reflection aligned with the model's intent. Kasi we wanted to have the reflection. So I would like you to review the questions within each stage to ensure that you really elicit the type of reflection intended by the Gibbs model. I also have to figure out myself, since it was not explained in the manuscript, that these three constructs. So I understand that it has to go through all these stages of the cycle. However, why these three? I mean, why three questions is enough already to capture the feelings, the the evaluation, and so forth. So I have suggested that in terms of feelings, you must explicitly prompt for emotional response. So are these feelings questions eliciting emotional response? What were your initial feelings? See? Well, this could be uh, good enough, but do you believe? Is, is the answer of uh, belief a feeling? How do you think? For me, thinking is actually cognitive in nature. So is this really a feeling? Now, we proceed to evaluation. Supposedly, in this stage, it encouraged the participant to judge the experience as good or bad. And therefore, the nuances here would be more on, does the question lean towards the bad or the good? And therefore, neutrality here is very important. So, what are the benefits? So when we think of benefits, I might be biased as a person, but for me, benefits is leaning toward positive. What do you think? What are the drawbacks? So, drawbacks, negative. All right. And therefore, this particular stage prompted me to ask, if I need to have positive or negative, then this is fine. However, there must be a balance. So you see, item one is about good. Question two is about bad. And then, do you think AI makes learning easier? So this one is good. And it must be tempered by another item, which is bad. So this is exactly what I mean with the the items in each stage may not necessarily be equal as long as you have exhaustively captured all these different stages, and the questions are enough for you to gather or explore their views or examine the reflection. Now, you see, your aim is stated as you wanted to explore the views, but then your instrument will gather reflections. I don't know if I make sense to you, but for me, it's incoherent. The analysis stage prompt the participant to make sense of the experience. So this one would require for them to think. It's a question of analysis. So in evaluation, there must be a specific experience for them to judge the experience. So here, analysis, why do you think some individuals' observation rely on AI? What ethical concerns do you think? And again, going back to my suggestion, do they actually make sense of their own experience, or is someone experience? Because your question pertains on other individuals rather than their own experience, making sense of the situation as experienced by others rather than the personal experience. You have to go back from your research design, which I will be showing now, because here you've mentioned that through personal experience. Again, I would like to highlight, individuals actively construct knowledge through personal experience. This is your theoretical framework through personal experience. And now, when you go back to your analysis, Why do you think some individuals, why is this item about other individuals rather than personal experience? See? And how do school policies or teachers' opinion influence your perspective on AI use? I don't think that these three questions captures analysis. And then in the conclusion stage, encourage learning and drawing conclusion. What have you learned? Why is it that you have to define ethical use here? In the conclusion stage, what are the best ways to preserve and promote Haniway Cemetery as a valuable part of the community? I don't even understand how come that you have changed now with the cemetery. Is it because my house is near the cemetery? I just don't know. Is this really about the Haniway Cemetery? I, let me know. And then, if you could change anything about AI use in education, what would it be? Now, we go back again what it means to conclude. And my suggestions here would be the specific questions, encourage learning and drawing conclusion. Are these really? Well, it could be, but that is according to you. There must be an explicit guide on how questions were framed to capture conclusion based on personal experience and construct. And therefore, I think for you to draw out this, there must be a need for a personal experience, which will guide through all these stages of the give cycle. For instance, you have to ask them, once you have identified them, to have uh, an extreme usage of AI. And then action plan, what will you do in the future? How will you use AI? What advice would you give? Is this an action plan that advising people? How schools or educators? I don't know that the third item of your question refers to policies and educators. Well, it could be a separate question. You need to satisfy your model. Um, some questions could be more open-ended. Well, you have that. And then I have given here an example. And then here, do you think AI makes learning easier? I mentioned already about the neutrality supposedly, but in case that's your plan to have good and bad, you just have to balance it out. And then this one, you have to rephrase your question here, coherence, kasi may Haniway Cemetery. And then, the uneven emphasis on the research question. So, please, I would like you to consider this, but I really appreciate your study because your investigation about the ethical use is timely in this um, proliferation of AI use. And I hope you can really provide an insightful conclusion, and probably you can come up with a policy research with regards to your um, research investigation. So congratulations, and thank you for your patience and understanding in waiting this review.